So this is a topic right here, guys, that has been floating around the internet for quite some time just recently. And I'm definitely going to give my response to it and my opinion on the matter. Miss Rachel, if you don't know her, former preschool teacher, current preschool virtual sensation when it comes to the preschool knowledge, the songs for littles, things that she has going on there. It's a great thing what she has going on. I mean, my daughter, watched it as she was coming up, and I thought that the platform was real cool. I thought that what her and her husband had going on, I mean, some of the songs are pretty groovy. But with everything going on in the world, and this being the month of June, which is what the world is pronouncing to be Pride Month, here we are once again in another year in a Pride Month. This is also what has been considered Men's Mental Health Month. So shout out to all of the men out there. And if you are not a man watching this, make sure to pat a man on the back this month and let him know that you see him. Let him know that he is important, that he matters, and that God did not place him here by mistake. So yeah, but let's get into this, man. I just definitely wanted to give that little preface. But yeah, Miss Rachel definitely shocked me in what she came out in pretty much support of the homosexuality community and the LGBTQ and Pride Month and everything that's going on this month. And I'm gonna show you this clip right here of what she said, came out and spoke about it. And I'm gonna explain why I think that she's not all the way wrong in what she's doing. Like, I definitely see the intention, but I'm gonna break it down to you and really explain what exactly I am kind of not necessarily okay with, and I think that she should kind of change her perspective on it. But let's get into the clip first.
Happy Pride to all of our wonderful families and friends. This month and every month I celebrate you. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're exactly who you are. To those who are going to comment they can't watch the show anymore because of the support, no worries and much love your way. God bless. I am not chasing fame or views. I'm standing strong in love.
All right, so very short and sweet and simple. She came on the internet, said that, posted that, and yeah, people had quite a few things to say. I mean, there were some people that, of course, were in agreement with it. I mean, 273,000 likes on that post. And there were some people that were in disagreement to it. And honestly, it's because so many people were inspired by the platform that she had produced for children and teaching them, and how, a lot of children grew to really love the platform and grew to really love Ms. Rachel. So they put her on a pedestal and, maybe thought that this wasn't something that she should be supporting, given that she's Christian. Now, as she mentioned in that post, she started off, "Happy Pride to all of our wonderful families and friends." Now, in the end there, she's talking about how she's just walking in love. Like, people are going to be upset and not want to watch the show anymore because she's pretty much openly putting herself out here as saying, hey, I support the LGBTQ movement. I support Pride Month. I support this wave of the world, if you will, which is valid. I don't know how I feel, about it myself. I know people would say, how could you have your kids watch that? Or why would people have their kids watch it? Because she had already had people on the show before even putting this video out. I mean, if you've watched her show before, there's already been people on the show that were, I guess you could say, non-binary. We don't really know like what your pronouns are, one of those situations, so that turned people off initially. But in this situation here, like I said in the beginning, the reason why I don't think that she's 100% wrong in her delivery is because she is coming out trying to be accepting of everyone. And I get it, because there is the part of Christianity when we're supposed to walk like Christ where people say you need to be like God, and God accepts everyone. God was loving. God wasn't just walking around judging. And I get that. I get that, because you definitely want to walk in love, like she's saying. Hey, I'm just here walking in love. However you feel about the show now after hearing this, feel about it, but I'm just walking in love. Now, I get that. but we can walk in love. Like, for example, myself, I do not hate the LGBTQ community. I do not dislike anyone inside of the LGBTQ community. My beliefs and my faith, they put me in a place where I cannot join you in those activities. I cannot join you in celebration of Pride Month, but I do have love for you. And I think that's the stance that she should have taken. I think that's the stance that Miss Rachel should have taken as it pertains to this. Now, with all the backlash that obviously would come from her saying something like this, she responded and pretty much came back to respond to what other people were saying to her being in support of Pride Month. Let's hear what she had to say there.
Shared prayers on here before and said God bless, and that's because my faith is really important to me, and it's also one reason why I love every neighbor. In Matthew 22, a religious teacher asked Jesus, what's the most important commandment? And Jesus says to love God and to love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. There's no greater commandments than these. I believe it's mentioned 8 times, love your neighbor. So yes, everyone belongs, everyone's welcome, everyone is treated with empathy and respect. It doesn't say love every neighbor except. There are so many reasons I stand strong in love. I stand with everyone. That's who I am. And the love back and the God bless if you disagree is genuine.
So, furthermore, pushing her viewpoint of loving everyone and just standing on that love for everyone, I agree with that portion. I agree with that. Because oftentimes there is just a little bit too much hatred, a little bit too much bashing to people that are sinning, so to speak. And when it comes to sin, because we're all sinners, like nobody's perfect. So when it comes to sin, homosexuality is just a sin that is visible. So it's something that people tend to talk about a lot. But what about the sins that people are doing every day that just aren't being broadcasted, that just aren't visible? Sins that can be hidden. So that's why I always say when it comes to it in terms of sin, because there's always Christians that are like, no, you need to correct this. And if you're not correcting it, you're a part of the problem. And it's like, we're not saying that we're not correcting it, but we do have to operate and we do have to treat people in love. And we do have to love our neighbors and we do have to love others as we love ourselves. Like, so we do have to have that. But my love for you doesn't mean that I have to walk down the cliff with you. I can love you and be there for you when you need me and treat you as a person that is loved by me. But I do not have to go down a road of destruction with you. I can love you and still not compromise my own beliefs, my own morals. And I can do all of that while still loving you. And that's the thing that I agree with when she's saying, I'm responding in love, I'm responding in love, I'm responding in love. Well, respond in love. But let your natural love be the thing, your love that you get from following Christ. Let that love be the thing that causes people to want to get to know Christ more. Because I can't condone the LGBTQ Pride Month. I can't condone it because pride is bad anyways. And as a believer, we do know to walk in love, but we also know pride comes before the fall. So we can't condone. It's like, I love you guys. I love you, LGBTQ community. I love you. I love you. I got love for you guys. I care about you guys. I believe that you guys should be treated with respect and you should be treated, with like any other human. I believe that. But I have a belief, I have morals, I have a faith, guidance that tells me that that's not a good life to live. That's not a life that I am supposed to live as a believer. And with that lifestyle being presented through pride, and that being the thing that we celebrate, pride, knowing that pride comes before the fall, I don't want to celebrate something knowing that the end result is falling, that the end result is destruction. I don't want to do that. And I have to love you enough to tell you that. I'm not judging you in what you do. But people would get twisted. They'd be like, man, you were so loving. You're kind. Yeah, that happens with me all the time. I've had plenty of friends that are gay, plenty of people that I've known that were homosexuals. And they're like, man, you'd be so surprised. You're so kind. You're polite. You know, we didn't know that you were against. It's like, I'm not against you. Just because I didn't join you in your homosexuality, it doesn't mean that I'm against you, because I'm not attaching and connecting you to the sin. The sin is the sin. The sin is what I don't enjoy. But you, I love. The sin is what we have to hate, not the person. Could just be a stronghold. I remember years back, I'm actually an ordained minister. So years back, I had an old friend of mine. He was a homosexual man. He reached out to me, asked me if I could marry him and his soon-to-be husband. And you know, at the time, I'll be honest, I really was considering doing it just for the fact of what Mrs. Rachel's doing here. I thought to myself, they're a friend. They've always been a friend of mine. Why not help them out? You know, they need a service that I can offer them. Why not help them out? And I told my wife about it. I remember we were sitting out getting ready to eat something. I can't remember exactly where we were, but I do know we were getting ready to get something to eat. And I tell my wife about it. I say, hey, you know, so-and-so, he's telling me, you know, he wants me to, you know, do their marriage, and he wants me to do the ceremony, and he's getting ready to get married. And when I'm telling her this, she's looking at me like, do you hear yourself? Do you hear the words that are coming out of your mouth right now? And she had to really remind me, because of course, when you go and marry people, there's money involved. So, and at the time I was broke as a joke. And I'm like, yeah, I can make some money doing this, but is it really worth it? The couple of $100 you would have made, is it worth it to put a stamp of approval on something that God completely disagrees with? To use my gifts, use my talents, use my abilities to go and do something and bless something and ordain something that God doesn't agree with? How can I use my God-given abilities, my God-given body, my God-given self in ways that are not pleasing to God? I didn't want to do that, man. I didn't want to do that. So, and she had to remind me, she had to open my understanding that I know you're just trying to help them. I know they're a friend. I know you mean well, but it's not in line. It's not in line with God. It's just not. And we don't have to be mad about it. We don't have to judge people about it. We don't have to be angry. It just is what it is. Some things are what they are. You know what I mean? Some things just are what, and that's one of those things that just are what they are. And that's what I would tell Miss Rachel in this situation, man. You can love them. You can be there for them. I know you just want to be, you just want to help because you're a friend and you're a kind-hearted person. I get that. But some things are what they are. That doesn't mean that I have to shun you away and already cast you to hell. That's not my place to do that. It's my place to love on you with the love of Christ that he gives to me. So I'll give it to you. And then you get to learn who Christ really is through my love. And then you can build a relationship with him on your own because you've discovered the true love of God. And you've learned what this good news is, because it's good news that God is on your side. It's good news that God is trying to protect you. He's trying to protect us from the evil things of this world, man. But hey, pray for Miss Rachel. Like I said, I don't think her platform is going anywhere. I mean, there's still a lot of people that support it, but just for people that might be stuck in that situation, stuck in that ideology, not knowing what to do as a believer, because we are surrounded more and more day in and day out of people coming out of the closet, and people, you know, the LGBT community is expanding. It's not decreasing, it's expanding. So it's, pray, just putting it out there for these people, man, that might be stuck and not knowing what to do. You can love on people and you can have love for people. You don't hate people because they're sinning. That's not what you do. That's how you keep people in their sin. You love people because God drew us with loving kindness. When some of us in our darkest pits, some of us in the worst places of our lives, God drew us with a nice, calm, whispering sound, a nice, beautiful call. He didn't whip us and lash us and punish us and speak bad on us until we felt so terrible that we came to him. No, 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 no. That's not how it works. So we can't do that to other people. But at the end of the day, don't do anything at the expense of your faith and at the expense of what God is pleased with and what he's okay with, man. That's all I got for you guys on this one, man. To the next one, I'm out.